stay. Sunday will be as cold as the ice at Ray J. We the thunder on the airwaves loud. Shooter and Schooley firing up the crowd. Rare Florida chill, breath in the air. Snow in the forecast, man, who would dare? Hockey in the tropics, history inside. Stadium series under Sunday night lights. Feel the storm, hear the drums. This ship's loaded, here it comes. We the thunder, hear the cannons roar. Pirate flags wave from the deck to the shore. Lightning strikes, feel the ice crack under. Boston's in town, but we bring the thunder. From the mic to the ring, from the bay to the roar. We the thunder podcast, give us more. Raise your swords, let the storm roll through. Tampa Bay hockey, this night's for you. Hager leading Sorelli on the fly. Kucherov dancing, puck in the sky. Bassy in the crease like a fortress wall. John Cooper steering the ship through it all. Black and gold coming down from the north, but they're walking into the storm we brought forth. Cold wind blowing off the bay tonight, but our hearts burn hot in a pirate fight. Every hit, every goal, feel the thunder in your soul. We are the thunder, hear the cannons roar. Pirate flags wave from the deck to the shore. Lightning strikes, feel the ice crack under. Boston's in town, but we bring the thunder. The mic to the ring, from the bay to the roar. We the thunder podcast, give us more. Raise your swords, let the storm roll through. Tampa Bay hockey, this night's for you. Shooter on the call, Schooley on the sound. Breaking every play while the crowd goes wild. Anchors up, sails high, storming outside. This crew don't sink, we fight the fight. Snow in Tampa, man, that'd be insane. But rain or ice, the boat still rain.
Welcome to We the Thunder. My name is Rob. My friends call me Shooter.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
That's very rude, Thomas Schooley. Very rude. That is the very rude Thomas Schooley. At midnight, he turns into a pirate until Sunday at midnight.
Yo ho ho.
And we have a special show tonight. Sure, if you're new to this show, by the way, we're two Lightning fans. We talk about Lightning hockey. And we've got a big game coming this season, this weekend. Usually we break the week up, or we break the season into little weeks and talk about them 1 week at a time. But we have a big game this weekend happening outside, and I don't think there's any worries about the ice melting these days, Thomas. What say you? You're at the arena right now. What's going on down there?
I am at the arena. We just did taping of the block party with Nick Paul as the guest that will release next Wednesday. So check it out. It's pretty funny. But we were talking with Bobby the Chief in there.
Okay.
Steve Ersnick was in there, all talking about how the conditions, literally, it is expected to be the coldest day so far of the year.
Yep.
On Sunday. And it's like the NHL controls the weather. Like, when there's so many conspiracies out there that you can control the weather, this is going to be one of them because of potential snow flurries the night before, the morning of. I mean, when Dennis Phillips is actually putting on his weathercast, snow flurries between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m., who's going to be up between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m.? This guy right here.
That's the night before. That's Saturday night going to Sunday, right?
Into Sunday, yes. So 1 a.m. is Sunday morning, the day of the game. And it's just going to be freezing out there. It's so funny that we heard so many people talking about the weather. Now hot hands seem to be the run of the mill like they were in Nashville. Oh, and by the way, for Mike Douglas, who flew in today from New Hampshire, he was told that a lot of Boston flights have been canceled, and it is going to be hard for them to get down here by Sunday because of these storms going on. So we might see a lot more Bolts fans than was anticipating, because I think we're going to see a flurry of Boston fans selling their tickets.
That would be great. Yeah, that's the best news I've heard all day. And by the way, we are going to be walking around before the game. And guess what? One of the things we're going to be giving away is I got some hot hands. I got some hot hands to give out. We're actually gonna launch another contest. I don't want to talk about it yet because we got a contest going on right now. So let's talk about that for a second. I gave you the opportunity to make fun of my bandana again. I put this on so you'd make fun of it.
Listen, I saw you as the show intro was going. I saw you fluffing up your hair, and I was like, "Oh, this child!
How dare you? How dare you?
This old man!
Classy.
This old man trying to be 18 again."
I told you I wear the bandana just to piss you off in hockey. All right, so tonight's show, we have Casey Hudson on. She's been on this show several times. You know why? She used to cover the Lightning. She's moved up north, and she's big time now, and she actually works for indirectly the Bruins, NESP or NESN. I always want to say NESPN. That's the Northeast Sports Network. So she's going to jump on at 8:30. And I told her, like, listen, we got to know what's going on with the Bruins. We've only played them once this season. That was like our one win at the beginning of the season when we but we're two totally different teams now. So we got to kind of understand what's going on with that team as they come into town. And it'll be great to get caught up with her. We've got a game for her, of course. We're on a consecutive streak now of a lot of shooter games. That's going to end for the Olympics probably. But we've got a Stadium Series game that you guys can play along as you listen in the chat. So wait for that. And then we're going to jump into it in a second here. We've got everything you need to know about the Stadium Series. Official parties, unofficial parties, the tailgates, everything you need to know. We're going to share with you in the next 30 minutes before Casey comes on. And if you have not signed up already, I will put the link in the chat here. I'm going to do it right now so I don't forget. But you can win a Stadium Series jersey tomorrow. I think it's time to end right after the game ends tomorrow night. If you have not signed up, there's many different ways that you can sign up to win this jersey. It will be the first prize of the night, of the contest. It will be a blank. This is my jersey. It's a Vasi jersey, but it will be a blank Stadium Series jersey. It is a 54 size. I only have one size. It comes in a nice little Stadium Series box here. That will be the grand prize winner. But guess what? You can win second place and win this awesome hoodie in the style of the Stadium Series jerseys. And you don't have to live here. We will ship these out to you on Friday. And then, of course, third place wins our merch, Freeze the Bay. We're going to shut Freeze the Bay down in a couple weeks. So if you want to get one, if you don't win tomorrow, go buy one. And then, like I said, stay tuned. We might have another contest coming for you right after this one ends. So, and that's another reason to find us at the Stadium Series game, wandering around before the game starts at 6:30. And I think it's actually going to start at 6:30, the way the weather's going.
The Earthsnick said puck drop will be later than that, but the festivities inside will start at 6:30. But puck drop is scheduled for probably around 7-something.
Awesome. Yeah, I figured they've got the special stadium national anthem singer now, Hunter Hayes. We just heard in the last 24 hours who our special DJ or in-stadium arena.
In-game host is going to be the Savannah Bananas host. No Greg Wolf.
Huge miss. First of all, Greg Wolf's done these in other cities, and to not have him post it in his city, in our city, the guy we know, the guy we love is, I mean, that's for the first and hopefully the only miss for the Stadium Series.
Well, no, because the Star Spangled Banner. Real quick, let me tell you, this is how first class our people are, though. we had Sonia share out Hunter Hayes and put a heart and a clap. So Sonia supporting that. Greg Wolf talked to him tonight here at the block party, and congrats to that. Greg Wolf will be doing the pre-show stuff outside, so you will still see him outside. But Greg Wolf also being like, congrats to what's his name, the guy from the Savannah Bananas.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect. Yeah, like you said, classy people.
Look at this guy, classy fella.
So
we are the ones that can pick it apart. And yes, we are homers. Yes, but the thing with Greg Wolf has done this before. We talked to him when we interviewed him a couple weeks ago. He said how he's been involved with so many of these. At least they did not, ask him to do anything. So,
yeah, he's doing the pregame stuff. So you'll see him in and around the stadium. He'll still be involved, but
Chris Mack is expected to be in lineup tomorrow.
There you go. So yeah, we got one more game tomorrow night versus the Jets. And if you're new to this, by the way, we usually go back and break down the win versus the Mammoth. We'll do it real quick. It was Dave Mission's 2000th game, which was amazing that he's done 2,000 games. I can't believe he's been around forever doing this, kind of in Rick Peckham territory for us as far as broadcasting goes. Mammoth came in second hottest team in the NHL, left with 0 goals.
Hottest team since December. The Mammoth had been the hottest team since December 1st.
But they have a Vasi problem. They've never scored on Vasi before. Here's a good one for you. We have lost a game to the Mammoth. Do you know who played in goal in that game?
Was not Johansson. It was the one from Syracuse.
Halverson. Yeah. He got, I think that might have been his first start, but yeah, they lost that game. That was the only time they lost the Mammoth. Vasi 2-0 with 2 shutouts versus the Mammoth. Not a bad record. We did finally lose. The point streak is over. Boo-hoo. We lost on the back-to-back night, the second game. We had JoJo in. Columbus scored 8 goals in that game. We were down 4-2 in the first period, came back, tied it up. I thought we were going to pull it off, but Chernak leaves hurt. No call on him getting smashed into the boards. Awkward play, made a weird turn and got hit hard. Dessous is also out. He got put on IR with his injury. Simon Lundmark made his NHL debut, but either way, streak over. Lost 8-5 in regulation in Columbus. Of course, it's the Blue Jackets that take us out.
I know. And their new head coach, who used to be an assistant coach here.
He knows us well. Yeah, yep. They're playing good now. And then Chicago put up a good fight the night before, Friday night, against us. Played us really well. I mean, we pretty much owned that game, but they kept themselves in that game, took it to overtime. We won it in the shootout in Chicago. That kept the point streak going. But again, Columbus ruined that for us on Saturday. Anyway, we'll talk about the games next week. We're talking about the Stadium Series this episode. So let's jump into it. I guess I'll share my screen. I've got some stuff pulled up here. We want to kind of keep everyone informed on what all of your options are, official and unofficial. And we'll start with this one, which is Friday night. So I know a lot of people have been seeing this because they've been posting on social media a lot. But Friday night, there is a fan pep rally hosted by Sports Invasion of Tampa. So this is at the Yingling Draft House and Kitchen, 30th Street, Tampa. And they're going to have a light buffet for $50, a light buffet, 2 drink tickets, DJ, outdoor games. They might want to take those indoor, private room, and more special guests, alumni Glenn Metropolitan and Thunderbug, the mascot. So if you're really itching for something to do on Friday night, besides the official, I guess it's an official part of the events, Bert Kreischer at Emily or the bench on Friday night, if you'd rather get some comedy. But there's an option for you on Friday night if you're looking for something to do. They're also having a tailgate, but we'll get to that when we go over the tailgates. As far as pregame goes, what to do before the game starts, our old friends at Cigar City, they are going to have a little pregame. So if you want to go have some Cigar City High Lives and some other beers and have some food, they're going to have some giveaways there. Your first drink is free. If you have a game ticket, you got to show them the ticket. You'll get a drink for free. So if you want to go hang out at Cigar City, that's right there on Del Mabry and Spruce Street, not too far away from the stadium. We've also got a pregame and this is an official Stadium Series event, at Midtown. So I know everyone's been to Midtown by now, I'm sure. 3 p.m. to 6:30 on the 1st. And they've got walk-ons right there, the great sports bar. 100 free Michelob Ultras for the first 100 hockey fans. Not just for you, Schooley. That's the first 100 hockey fans.
Michelob Ultra, I wouldn't be drinking it anyway.
They've got a DJ, opportunity to win limited edition Stadium Series jersey autographed by the entire team. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So, again, some pregame festivities there at Midtown and also over at Cigar City. And then we've got a place called Acadian Social Club that's having a watch party. So I know a lot of people can't make the game, don't have tickets, can't afford those secondhand tickets from those scalpers raising those prices. So you can go hang out at Arcadian Social Club, 4 o'clock. Sounds like it's a bring your own meal type of thing. And then we've also got our friends at Top Shelf. This is, I believe, the downtown location. Yep, East Jackson Street. We've broadcasted at Top Shelf before. It's a great place to watch Lightning games. So they will have a watch party. $10 tender bolts. Signed Lightning merch for giveaways, free Lightning shots for every Lightning goal, 50% off hospitality workers, and drink specials as well. We love Top Shelf. So again, you got some options if you're not going to the game to get together with both fans and watch the game. Another one here, and this is at Armature Works. So they're going to have their own little party. I'm sure everyone knows what Armature Works is. Not many details on this one, but it's free to attend. Chairs and blankets are welcome. So they must have some sort of outdoor TV that's going to be set up there at Armature Works. Now, if you are going to the game, and I guess you don't have to be going to the game to go to a tailgate, you got a couple great options. Our boys and girls over at Sticks of Fire, I think, are going to have the best tailgate of the day. So if you want to tailgate with Sticks of Fire, those are the rowdy crew in 307. Thomas and I will definitely be making an appearance. We've been to their tailgates before Lightning games. Those guys know how to make some great food. They know how to drink some beers, water, soda, beer. In bar are provided, $20 a person, which is the best value you're going to get out of these tailgates that we're talking about. So we will post this today or as we approach the weekend, so you can see exactly where this tailgate is. But that starts at 2 o'clock if you want to go hang out with Sticks of Fire, and you might see us there too. We've got another one from that group that was doing the Friday night event, and they're going to have Freddie Modine at their tailgate. So that's Sports Invasion of Tampa. That's all they really have is they got a DJ and Freddie Modine, which is all you really need, right? In 2004, that's a party. So again, we'll post a lot of this stuff out there. Here's some more details. DJ Ali V. I think that's like one of the, that's the Lightning's DJ that they've been using.
They have food too, don't they?
Yeah, for $50, you better have some food. Oh wait, 125 is VIP. All-inclusive food, unlimited drinks, private tents, and Freddie Modine. You only give Freddie if you're paying VIP dollars. This was 25. Access to vendors, which you could have been, Thomas, and entertainment only. And then the bundle is a ticket to the pep rally and tailgate. That's the Friday pep rally if you want to do both 1:30. So another cool option there. No info on what food they're going to have. And then for all you Bucks fans, you're going to definitely recognize What the Puck. So What the Puck's got their tailgate going on. That is going to be, let's pull up the flyer here. Yeah, they always usually get Wicked Oak Barbecue involved. And do they have a price on here?
$50.
$50. I think it's less. I think it's less now. So either way, you've got options, and I know a lot of people are going to be hanging out with their friends, having their own tailgate. See if this pulls up. This is actually
Yeah, I know people. Some of the admins of Thunderbolts are just going to. They're going to get side by side parking spots. They're going to have some drinks. They're going to have some pork chops and something else, and cornhole. It's really going to be the whole parking lot's going to be full of stuff. And do you have the pregame festivities? I see Chris asking about that. Do you have that on there?
Oh, we're not done. There's more, but I want to go over this.
We know, Matthew. We already talked about Sticks of Fire. We're talking about what the buck.
Sticks of Fire. If you back up 5 minutes, you'll hear about that. In my opinion, that's probably the best bang for your buck for your tailgates. So February 1st, the lots open. The official Raymond James lots open at 12:30. So if you're trying to park in one of those official lots, you ain't getting in until 12:30. The NHL pregame is in lots 5 and 7. So you won't be parking there because that's where you're going to have some festivities. You might run into us there for sure. That's going to open at 1 and go right up until 6:30. I'm going to go over what we're going to see at the NHL pregame in a second. I believe that's kind of the event that or area that Greg Wolf and Street Lace is going to be working in.
Yes, that is.
Gates open at 5 o'clock.
Low cash will be also.
Oh, yep. And then the actual game starts at 6:30, but Thomas got some intel. The game's probably not going to start till what they say, like 7:30 puck drop?
Between 7:15, I think, is what they're thinking.
All right. So what's this NHL pregame all about? Here you go. And I just put all of these official links in the chat. So if you
were in Nashville, it's going to be just like that, but better. Because
I didn't go in Nashville. I was just drinking on the streets.
You didn't go to the little area.
No,
I see.
I never made it in.
Chris Longtime was asking about it. That's where they were giving out the hot hands. That's where they had the sandcastle of the matchup. That's where they had all the different things that you're going to see here. But it's 10 times better here in Tampa if you look at all these things, and he's going to go over it. There is the Stanley Cup. The Stanley Cup is going to be there, and you're going to be able to take a picture of it.
All right. So, again, 1 o'clock this opens. Lots 5 and 7 are the south side of the stadium.
Across from the beach.
If you don't know what south side is, that's the side closer to like downtown and 275. I know we have some challenged listeners that don't know directions.
Next to the Yankees practice field.
Yeah. So you've got all kinds of vendors here. Here's what I don't really understand. The policy for Raymond James Stadium, which is the same for this game, is you can only bring in a clutch, like a small bag, right?
Yeah.
So as I'm going through this, you'll notice they're going to be giving away all kinds of stuff. You're going to want to go back to your car. You're not going to be able to bring this stuff in. So just keep in mind. So body armor, you don't have to bring in that stuff. That's your sports drinks. So go get your sports drinks from Body Armor. Cat's going to be there. They're going to have a bunch of giveaways. Meet a hockey legend. They don't tell us who. A hockey legend could be anyone, but Cat will be there representing. These are all like the NHL main sponsors, right? And Energizer's going to be there with giveaways. They have the test your skill by shooting pucks into washer and dryer. That's the old Sidney Crosby drill right there. ESPN's going to be there. A larger than life photo opportunity with the ESPN Igloo. So that's going to be really cool. I love how they have in here. Fans are invited to step inside a beachside igloo to cool off. I don't think we're going to need to cool off.
No.
Can they put a heater on inside of it? Fanatics is going to be there. Of course, I'm going to go say hi to Fanatics. This looks really cool. We can stop by, get scanned for your own AI bobblehead image with your likeness on the head to either a Lightning or Bruins Stadium Series uniform. Thomas, we got to do this.
Oh, I'm for sure am.
And then you can test your skill. You're going to see, because you're going to be with me, whether you like it or not. And you're gonna see me in the hockey simulator and really what I can do in a hockey simulation. So of course they'll have some merchandise. I'm really curious if there's gonna be any merchandise that is exclusive to, like, you had to be at the game to get it.
I hear there is.
Oh, Jersey Mike's. Oh, that's my favorite sub spot, man. Jersey Mike's. I love myself some Jersey Mike's. I'm like it Mike's way. This sounds like a commercial now. Jersey Mike's, call us up. They're going to be there with sub-sampling, interactive games, augmented reality, all that good stuff. Navy Federal Credit Union, of course, they're the primary sponsor for the Stadium Series. They will be there. Fans can take their best shot, rack up points at the Digital Hockey Shot Challenge. Next Playground, fans will have the opportunity to experience, like never before, a Next Playground interactive fan zone. So that looks pretty cool. Their NHL Puck Rush, players race against the clock in a high energy goal scoring challenge. So there's going to be all this like little hockey like drill type of stuff at this.
Yeah, it's almost like when the Super Bowl was here, where they had the run, punt, what was it? Run, field goal, run, punt, kick. I think it was.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. So NHL Fan Access has some sort of Ask Stanley virtual chat bot. Remember, we had a chat bot on this show. We did it first. Okay, we're like the Simpsons. You can, if you go to our website, I still have Nikki Kucherov on the website if you want someone to talk to. NHL Network's going to be there. Find out how your slap shot compares to the pros. I want to see my slap shot against a Darren Radish slap shot. Did you see his goal on the other night? That was
sure did.
Beauty. Man, if that guy can get that accuracy down, dangerous. He's gonna make a lot of money this summer. All right, so NHL Network, NHL Street, fans visiting pregame in Tampa can experience high energy street hockey activation, featuring drop-in, free play competitions, accuracy challenge, and dangle zone and giveaways. No Bowl, that is the what is No Bowl? I don't even know what No Bowl is. Guess we're gonna find out. U.S. official partnership.
Official training shoe of the NHL.
All right, so go learn what No Bowl is. I know like Tom Brady's done some stuff with them. Norwegian Cruise Line has an accuracy challenge activation to test your skills versus the pros. You're going to have a chance to really test your skills against the pros.
No Bull, was that the hat that Hedman had?
No, that was no solo. And then we've got, can we win a cruise from Norwegian Cruise Line?
I think we're going to have to pretend we're a couple and do some timeshare.
Chance to win a cruise. Carly's not going to approve of that.
Funny, it's going to the Bahamas, and that is where Nick Paul said he will be during the Olympic break.
There you go.
So can we get it real quick to the Bahamas during the Olympic break?
Pepsi's going to be there. Try all the Pepsi and snacks and all that stuff. Thomas Schooley, known Coca-Cola guy. Shooter, Pepsi guy. So you can skip that one. I'll go have a Pepsi.
I can do the taste test by a mile.
Preston Art and Designs. I actually saw this guy before I saw this because he was announcing he's going to be there. Does some really cool art. So go check out some of his art on display. The Sense Arena is a NHL experience, fully immersive virtual reality drills, and it looks like they have got a stick handling obstacle course. Stanley Cup display. There you go. Fans can take a photo with the most iconic trophy in professional sports. The Stanley Cup will be in the house. Of course, Tampa Bay Lightning are going to have their booth, all kinds of fun and games. Looks like they got a photo booth for fans that you can go in and you can go sign up for tickets and everything else they're trying to sell you. Upper Deck.
You forgot Ticketmaster.
Did I skip Ticketmaster?
Yeah.
Not a huge fan. That's why. I prefer SeatGeek.com. And I haven't checked, but if you're trying to go to the game and you want to get $20 off your first purchase on SeatGeek.com, We the Thunder's got your back. Strike 20. It's up in the corner. Go check it out.
We're going to have a surprise NHL alumni here.
There you go. So surprise NHL alumni for Ticketmaster. And then Upper Deck. This is pretty cool. Fans can get their own personalized 2026 Stadium Series trading card from Upper Deck. I might want to check that out. I hope the lines aren't super long because some of the stuff I really want to do, and you know me, I just don't do lines. It's not going to be good. We've got USPS. This is like the newest sponsor for the NHL, the post office.
Yeah.
How good is your slap shot? It sounds like you're going to have a lot of opportunities to test your slap shot on Sunday if you're looking to see how fast or how accurate your shot is. And they do remind you here at the bottom before you go into this, which, by the way, you don't have to have a ticket to the game to go to this. There's metal detectors and stuff. So you'll have.
Did you say you don't? You do have to have a ticket.
I thought you do not have.
Yes, you have to have a ticket.
Okay.
Let's see.
You don't have to yell at me. Edit that out. Oh, wait, we're live.
Yes, you are required to have a Stadium Series ticket. You are going to scan in through your Stadium Series ticket and scan out. If you go to your car, you can go to your car, you can go to a tailgate, you can go in and out as much as you want, but you will have to go through the metal detectors each time and scan in and out.
Yeah, that is super important. The other takeaway that I took from this, and I said at the beginning, is a lot of giveaways and stuff you're not going to be able to bring out in the stadium. So make sure you are aware. Go back to your car before you try to go into the stadium. All these little tchotchkes and giveaways and stuff are not going into the game with you. All right, that is pretty much everything we know about the Stadium Series. I guess we didn't really kind of cover the official events, which is this guy on Friday night. We did talk about that. And then you've got the Saturday night concert, Kings of Leon. It's not free, right?
No.
Pay for your Kings Leon. That's Saturday night at Benchmark. Of
And
course.
let's talk about Gasparilla real quick.
Saturday.
The invasion could not be happening. The parade will still happen. The invasion, they are saying the seas might be too rough, that the invasion might be canceled. So make sure if you are coming down to watch the actual invasion, to keep your eyes on Channel 8's the one that is usually the major sponsor of that. So keep your eyes on Channel 8. They announced earlier they're talking about 6 to 8 feet of waves. And so the flotilla cannot come through if that happens.
Yeah.
You will still have a parade. So before you come down for the invasion, make sure you check that out Saturday morning. And then if they don't have the flotilla, you'll still be able to go see the parade.
Yeah. And if you're going to Gasparilla, be safe. Save yourself a little bit for Sunday, but have a good time too. It's
By the way, the Lightning players do have a little area that they will be at on Bayshore for the parade. Nikki Paul said tonight. So you might see some of the guys down there on Bayshore. And they said they're going to do practice and then head over a little bit for the parade. So I'd imagine they're probably going to be in one of those little VIP areas.
Cool. And we'll post a lot of this stuff leading up to the weekend. Anything else that we hear is going on, we'll let you know. So make sure you follow We the Thunder Pod on Twitter. That's where we're the most active. But let's bring in our guest. It is not her first time. It's not even her second time. This might be like 4 or 5. But this is the first time where she's not like officially covering the Bolts.
And can I say,
no, you don't even want to know who she's covering now.
Real quick, can I say we get to see a little screen of her down there at the bottom? How come every time we're on here, we get uglier and older, and she keeps looking younger and younger as she's down there just smiling away, and here we are like trying to cover up our fat and our wrinkles.
There's a difference between a face made for podcasting and a face made for TV. So let's bring her on. With the lightning strike, she's back. Casey Hudson, the sports case. She is covering the Boston Bruins and Northeast sports up there. Hey, how are you?
Well, first of all, it's a lot of makeup, so thank you guys for being as sweet as always. This is me just getting home, and because it's freezing up here, I just threw on sweats. But I'm so glad to see some friendly, familiar faces. It's been a very long time.
Yeah, it's been a really fun year down here for Lightning hockey, and like
Yeah.
this is well, hopefully it's. I was gonna say it's the peak, but hopefully it's not the peak. We're just at the summit here, going to the top. It's been a really great year. Obviously, we've got the Stadium Series happening this weekend, Gasparilla happening this weekend, so there's a lot going on down here. We want to talk to you about Boston because we've only played them once this season. It was the beginning of the season. They're two different teams by now,
Oh, yeah.
basically. But have you followed the Lightning a lot this season? Like, what do you know about the team? I don't know how much you're like dialed into what's going on with this team right now.
Luckily, I stay pretty dialed because, of course, like good friends still covering the Lightning, and one of my favorites, D'Angelo Lou. So, like, her and I, like, you guys should see our chat. Like, we have our girly conversation, but hockey doesn't leave our chat whatsoever. And it's funny too because now it's like when I say us, I have to refer to the Boston Bruins. So we have our little moments jabbing at one another and always just kind of keeping up with what's going on. So she'll ask about insight for the bees, and I'll ask about insight for the lightning. And then I popped into town a couple months ago and got a chance to say hi and see everybody. So lightning, they're always going to have a very special place in my heart, but it's different because yeah, I'm very much in it with the Bruins.
You're ingrained with the Boston Bruins, and you were telling me you will not be down here, but that's because you're covering this bean pot. It's like a tournament, right? It's a college tournament.
It's what we would like hope that Florida hockey gets to eventually. And I feel like it's getting there. My best friend has three sons, and like Advent Health and all these things, the programs are coming to life. But up here in the Northeast, especially Boston, there's a tournament called Beanpot Tournament, and it's the four rival colleges that play in a tournament with each other, and it's insanity. And it's been going on for decades. So what's really cool is like the first Beanpot ever was in Matthews Arena, which like was one of the first places the Bruins played, and one of like the first legendary concert halls for rock stars. And they actually just shut it down this past December, but it's a massive tournament. It's Boston College, Boston University, Northeastern, and Harvard. And what makes it kind of cool too is like we're watching stars like Macklin Celebrini and Will Smith, who are now the best of friends, who come from Boston University and Boston College, and the ultimate rival who played in bean pots against each other. So I'm kind of witnessing that like future NHLers, and it's not that far away. I mean, the Bruins first round pick, James Higgins, is going to be playing in it, and Cole Hudson, who I believe is Capitals draftee. Like you've got all of these guys who are going to be seeing the NHL in the next year that are going to be battling it out next week.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I saw it's on my Instagram stories your interview where you're on ice skating with that first round pick. That's great.
Eggs. Yeah, that was cool. And that's the other thing, like with college hockey being so big up here, and then obviously me being fortunate to work with Nesson, they didn't really have anybody who was like, why don't we get on the ice with these guys? And I got to give a shout out to Bleacher Report and Johnny Laz because that's kind of where you first saw that content. And
Yep.
since moving up north, and you guys know, I've always been passionate about the sport, but in Florida, it's not your first choice, really. It's not even like your second or third until recently. So even though I've always loved hockey, there wasn't really a program at the time with me growing up to learn it. So I actually joined a women's learn to play up here in Boston where the Bruins practice. And Nesson was so excited about it and extremely supportive of it that they were like, if you enjoy being on the ice that much, like we can incorporate different content. So months ago, I actually skated with the Boston Fleet, our pro women's team. Did a few different skates with them. Then we did like a Squid Games content session with them. And then after that, I did a Halloween skate with a couple of the Bruins players and like kids learning to skate. And then now I've been hopping in with the college kids. So it's been really cool.
We need to bring you down for this NHL pregame and test your skills at all these little.
Please. I feel a little bit more confident now. The skating is really like the part. I figure skated as a kid, but like learning about I see hockey so differently now, which is really fun because like learning about, edges, like I watched like I've got Rangers Islanders on right now, and I'm watching how these guys skate because I'm like, oh, he doesn't like his inside left edge, or like, oh, he's trying to like, get away with this, not using his outside edges. Like it's really fun to kind of see different intricacies to it and all be skating wise.
Totally.
So
That's the first
Casey,
thing I ask. Like when people ask me like if they can come play hockey because they want to start to try, I'm like, Do you know how to skate?
Can
Because
skate.
that is like 90% of what you need. But
Everything.
sorry,
Being up there, Boston, obviously huge hockey community. Bruins have a huge legacy. Is this game big? This outdoor series game, is it big news up there? And are they saying that we hear in other cities how Tampa shouldn't be hosting this? How we heard how um, down in Miami they shouldn't have been hosting that one against the Rangers. You saw now. Also, I'm hearing now from someone who flew in today that a lot of flights are being canceled and people can't get here for the game on Sunday,
Yeah.
or if so, might get here just on Sunday for this game. Is it big up there? Are people taking this game serious? Are people wanting to come to Tampa and see this, or is it just nobody? It's Tampa.
No. It's being taken seriously. I will say there's been plenty of remarks in terms of just like capability of having a quality outdoor game down south. Now, funny enough, you guys have an insane cold front coming through. Again, Deandra and I were texting, and she's like, "It's probably going to snow," and I was just like, "This is a wild thing to talk about for back home." But yeah, they took it seriously from the jump. Not in regards to it being an outdoor game. I think it was more so where the state of the Bruins were anticipated to be and where they are now. And like outdoor games hold so much tradition to it, even though Florida's breaking barriers with hosting it. And because the Bruins are an original six team, I think anything tied to tradition, they take seriously. That's something that I learned. Like, that you can find different storylines to kind of take away from like the importance or the excitement of something, but if it has tradition tied to it, the Bruins are taking it seriously. So I feel like the honor of playing outdoors, they respected that. Of course, there's the jokes about how you're going to play outside in Florida, but more importantly, I think it was like you have a first-year head coach in Marco Sturm. This team was supposed to be in a fully loaded rebuild, quote unquote. They weren't even expected to be on the cusp of a playoff bubble, let alone sniffing a wild card spot. And that's what makes this game so important, because you guys said it. These two teams look differently today than they did when they met in October. And I went to that game, and realistically, Bruins kind of had the Lightning's number in the first period, and then they lost control, they lost structure, but they didn't know who they were. They were still trying to figure out their back end. They were still trying to see what their lines looked like, if they could even say that they would have depth scoring. And these are a lot of questions that have been answered over the past couple of months.
Yeah. I've got some questions for you. And by the way, you're going to play a shooter game. You've played at least one or two in the past, but
I played something, yeah.
I got a Stadium Series one for you. So we'll do that in a little bit. But like you said, we really haven't played since the beginning of the season. So, it's not like some of these teams where we've played them a couple times and we're done for the season. What do Bolts fans need to know about this year's Boston Bruins? Like, a fan like me, I know the other geeky is having a heck of a season. What is this team all about up in Boston this year? Like, what do Bolts fans need to look out for in this game, knowing that we don't know much about this team yet?
I love that question because honestly, especially heading into training camp, heading into the beginning of this season, the entire storyline around the Boston Bruins was like, all right, if we don't have a sexy roster, then we need to just be hard to play against. So it was like hard to play against. Then you had Cam Neely come out and say that he wanted a piss and vinegar roster. And the names, you know what I mean, that they pieced together heading into training camp reflected that. Okay, they might be agitators, they might be physical. This might just be one of those like teams that they can keep things low scoring, and then things completely flipped on their head once you got a month into the season and you realize actually there's depth scoring. You've got guys that are kind of getting a second wind to their NHL careers on this roster. So I feel like what teams underestimate so much about the Boston Bruins is like, you think that because you don't have a big name outside of David Pastrnak that you don't have scorers, and that's not the case. Like, when they get hot, they can put 4 to 6 goals up on a team, and they're not a team that can really be identified as from the goaltending out. I feel like it actually starts with whatever takes place through their top 6 now, and that's going to be the big difference from the first time the Lightning saw this team. Two defensemen that were playing in that game aren't even in anymore. One of them being on the younger side, one of them being injured, and then you've got a second line that has become their pillar, like probably the most consistent line for the Boston Bruins. And if there's anything that I learned from the Tampa Bay Lightning is that once you have that pillar line that you rely on, you can really kind of serve up different looks outside of that. Like growing up with the Lightning, it was that third line. That was their identity. And that's what other teams started to copy into their own identity. And like for the Bruins, it's their second line. They can be pretty lethal in terms of having a strong two-way game or always getting on the board when, things are really tight. And Marco Sturm being a first-year guy, he's not scared to shuffle up the lines. I mean, they had Pasta on the third line just to drive some of the younger kids. So I feel like they can be unpredictable, even though they're inconsistent. They still have more strengths than they're given quality credit for.
Yeah, I think it's been a pretty impressive kind of rebound, like you mentioned. You weren't expecting them to really be in the mix this year. After you let go of Marchand and it looks kind of like a rebuild, they really more retooled. And, I got to ask because Bolts fans are going to want to know, like, how does some of these guys like Jeannot and Mikey Eyssimont, like, how are they fitting in there? Are they like bottom six guys that are contributing?
Yeah, so honestly, I think Jeannot might be my favorite story here. And it's because I remember when the whole Nashville trade went down and he ends up a Tampa Bay Lightning guy. And it was like, oh, we'll love him if he can put up 20 plus goals like he did in Nashville. And I think what was tough is that nobody looked like we get excited about players, but we don't realize how much goes into it. Coaching, system. I learned a lot about system with the Lightning, which is why I'll always refer to any knowledge that I have through, that pipeline. But for Tanner to get to Tampa Bay, not be a 20-goal guy, then he gets injured. I think it was either first the Islanders or the Rangers. And then before you know it, systematically, he just wasn't a fit. Then he ends up just taking on more of the physical presence and ends up in LA. Well, Marco Sturm was with the AHL team in LA and had a good view of what Tanner Jeannot could be in what kind of system. So what's cool is that when he got to Boston, a lot of people rose the same questions. If he's not going to put up 20 goals, what can he do? And then you find out that he actually has leadership qualities that this locker room leans on. So he's been really good in terms of with his bottom six role being a bit of an energizer. When it feels like things are getting stale out there on the ice, Tanner Jeannot's parked up net front and kind of opening up an opportunity that ends up turning into a momentous moment for the team. And I think he had 2 rebound goals within the first month of the season. So in that moment too, you're like, okay, when things get really gritty, you can rely on Jeannot. So I think he has a different appeal to him because Sturm deemed him a leader in this locker room. He's not just a guy who's going to be a physical presence. He labeled him a leader. And I think it's kind of encouraged him in a different way. And he's got a pep in his step when he's out there on the ice, but he's been rotating in from the third and fourth line. Right now, he's currently on the fourth line with Sean Corrali and Mark Kastelik. And they've been such a driving force because Marco Sturm said he's going to rely on his third and fourth line. He's going to expect him to be able to play big minutes, and he's going to be expecting them to take on top liners against opponents. And Tanner's really taken on that role.
Yeah, that's good to hear because it didn't work out like we all planned it down here. And injuries played a role in that. But I see in the chat, I'm right. A lot of us were hurt by the capital that went the other way in that trade. And, sometimes they work out like Brandon Hagel and sometimes they don't. But it's good to see a guy like that really kind of get a second chance with the team he seems to really be gelling with. But what's Eyssimont doing up there? I heard him scoring some goals to the beginning of the season. Is he still cracking the lineup?
Yeah, here and there. So he actually just drew back into the lineup versus Nashville. What day are we? Today's Wednesday. Okay. Versus Nashville last night. My days are all over the place right now. But that was with a guy named Alex Steves kind of coming out of the lineup for a minute. So you'll notice too that whenever they need a little bit more pace against an opponent, then Mikey Eyssimont will draw in. But for the most part, he had a consistent role kind of jumping between the third and fourth line, and then he kind of locked in on the fourth line to help be a driver down there. But it's nice because he can come in and just be his fashionable self, which is driving hard to the net, using his speed to create chances. He's really good when it comes to second and third chances when the team needs it. So on a lot of road trips, you've seen Mikey Eyssimont, and then when you need that speed against certain teams, you've seen Mikey Eyssimont. But before Nashville, it had been a couple of games since you'd seen him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys see, and we didn't even talk about this yet, it's our background on the show right now, but have you seen this setup for this game on Sunday? Did you see the
Oh
whole
my
picture that's
gosh.
behind us right now?
Yes, I have. It was going around the office the other day. And then there's like scavenger hunt. There's some sort of scavenger hunt with all the names and stuff.
Oh
And
yeah.
he was sending that to me. They did a great job with those, by the way. I think I heard Hedman's and Kucherov's and points, but I don't remember them.
I can tell you, Greg Wolf at the taping today, Nick Paul was the guest, and he said they really missed out on like Paulie Shore.
Oh my
They could have
gosh.
had, or or
How do
or
you not have Nick Paul? Like, yeah, that's a big miss. I will admit
or
that.
Coburn said they could have a little shack and they can be selling crackers out of it and be like, Paulie want a cracker, the pirate theme and everything.
What's
So
funny too is I feel like Nick Paul would play into that too because he's such a character. Like to
oh
think
yes.
about what that locker room is like. Like I get so much FOMO and I text Andrew about it all the time too, just because like we got the fresh eyes of like a Hagel and a Sorelli and like Nick Paul, but like now they're all besties. So just to kind of see the characters, because like before that, we had the characters that were Steven Stamkos and Pat Maroon, and those guys. Like no one realized how funny and well, just interesting Corey Perry was, and how much he would kind of instigate in the locker room too, just to get like Pat going and all that stuff. So it's cool to see the next, I guess, the next generation for Lightning players. That's
Yeah.
really old to say.
We had
Well,
Julie
yeah,
Speaks on
that was
last week, and she was kind of telling us. So she's filling in for Gabby Shirley because Gabby had
I
a baby.
I
And,
know.
and JSB was telling us like these guys love to razz each other, and the young guys, these rookies that are kind of been inserted into the lineup, they're in on it too. So I don't think much has changed as far as kind of that team chemistry and the fun that they're
Paul
having.
said tonight, he said that the season really turned itself around when they stopped looking for individual stats
Mm,
and they started really buying into being a team and winning as a team, and that the individual stats will come after that. And that they are more worried that some people at the beginning, it might have seemed like they were just coming out to get those individual stats. Now they're more finishing their checks. They're more blocking shots. They're more. It's more of a team game now, and they said that he said that's what has turned around this season for them.
I could see that because when they played Boston up here, and of course, I will always keep a close eye on the home team, but there there was so much talk about the amount of 20 goal scorers the Tampa Bay Lightning had last season. And
Mhm.
considering the handful of younger guys that weighed in on that, like I'll use Brandon Hagel as an example, like when he first got to the Lightning, outshined is not the word, but there was just so much hype about Nick Paul being like the assassin versus the Maple Leaves. So like he came in and like fit in right away while Hagel was still kind of getting his bearing. And then Hagel was like the takeaway king the season after that. And then the season after that is where you realize his scoring touch and stuff. So like I feel like I could see a guy like him being so critical on himself because I was looking at his numbers and I was like, yeah, but everything else he's doing, like all the fine details, like even if he's not scoring goals, he's helping this team out a lot. And it wasn't just in the takeaway category, it was how many shots he was getting forward, or it was his game during 5-on-5 play specifically. Like I felt he was still like such a weapon, but you would see him go to the bench and just look defeated. And then like October, November, it just completely turned around for him. And then I also was really curious when I was like, am I reading that Nikita Kucherov is on the second line? And so to see those kind of changes take place and like, as long as I covered the Lightning and like kind of having a gauge on Coop, I was just like, yeah, he's shaking things up to make sure everybody gets the message that it's like we're only moving forward successfully together, not by what you guys do on the stat sheet.
He said they believe they are a Stanley Cup winning team this year, that the whole team has talked about that, and that they have brought up the first round exits and everything else, and that they believe the whole team. I don't know how close, but we have this Destu. Of course, he's on IR, so it doesn't look like
Yeah.
he's going to play. We have Douglas, we have James, we have all these guys that have been coming up and filling these. We get McDonough back tomorrow, so it looks like he's going to play in the Stadium Series game. Hedman was on ice today in the red no contact, so I don't think he's going to play. I think he's held out until the Olympics now. Um, So they said that they believe this is a Stanley Cup winning team. And the way they've been playing in these games that they've been going and consecutive game point streaks, I truly believe they are. And I think that's a kind of team you saw it with Florida the last 2 years. Their motto was no excuses, no regrets. And I think that's the motto that the Lightning have picked this season.
Well, I think what makes them dangerous is that whole doesn't matter who's in the lineup,
Yep.
because I remember talking with, friends back in Tampa and stuff. And Chernak just returned a few weeks ago, and you're talking about one of your key defensemen on the back end where he's managing gaps, and you have more confidence when he's out on the ice, regardless of level of physicality and stuff. So I feel like, especially with me, like I remember those first round exits, and I remember it happening in freaking Panthers building, and reminding myself I'm a member of media, so don't be emotional because I hated Florida. But it's true. Like what made Florida so lethal is that that first matchup versus the Vegas Golden Knights. First of all, Bobrovsky played like shit in the beginning of that season, so that surprised me that he turned into this like postseason animal. And then you look at some of the names and you're like, okay, but who else on this roster can even like matter in the postseason? And then before you know it, they're playing for a Stanley Cup, and then they fall short, by a smidge, and then they return, same thing. Like when you look at their bottom six, a lot of people are just now learning the name Luosterainen, and he's been a pillar for them to make plays happen. And so in a weird sense, the Lightning have that because we've seen certain names for so long, and now you look at this bottom six and you see how crucial like a Gergetsen is to this team, and having a Bjorkstrand kind of find his identity in this system, but still has been coming in strong for the team and like being helpful on the power play. I heard occasionally too, so I feel like I know. Well, and that's what I mean though, occasionally, but that moment could be an
Listen,
impactful moment to send a team home, So
we're more thrilled when we see a Radish on the power play than we are when we see a Bjorkstrom on the
yeah.
power.
Somebody's got to fill that spot though with point out, and he's still the guy in there in the slot. So,
Exactly. He's
so
not who you're relying on, but I'm just saying, like, the element of the unknown is what has worked for teams like Vegas Golden Knights. Their name was the Misfits because how many guys could you truly name if you weren't tracking that team? I feel like Florida Panthers kind of copy and pasted that, and like right now, bottom six wise, like you've got some sneaky guys on the Lightning.
Yeah. And you might have just given this one away, but I would love to hear from you one player for Bolts fans to watch out for on Sunday. And don't say Pasta. We know Pasta.
No, I wouldn't do that to you guys.
Give us someone to keep an eye on that maybe we haven't heard of, right? And also, where do you think Boston is really stronger than the Lightning at? Is it special teams? Like, maybe it's nothing, but give us something.
Give you something. No, I'll give you a few things actually, because there's moments where cliches are honestly more poetic than they're given credit for. So I would never say Pasta in this because even though he's been so lethal, it's the younger guys that nobody thought was going to have as much time on ice, and it's just kind of worked out favorably. So Murat Husnudinov is probably one of my favorite stories because we got him in a trade with the Minnesota Wild at the deadline this past year, and he came in and they were throwing him on the fourth line, but that's really the only spot that there was for him. And then when you start looking into his background and looking at the scouting reports of why why he piqued Minnesota's interest, you realize that first of all, he was setting up Mitchkov, who was a big deal for the Flyers, even though they're still trying to figure things out. And he was a key asset when he was playing in the KHL. So injuries took place for the Boston Bruins, and before you know it, he was getting reps on the top line, and he was playing like a guy who belongs on the top line since day one, and his projections are a top six, either centerman or winger. So he's really responsible with the puck. He's very strong two-way wise. Like he can make you pay for any mistakes out there on the ice, but also he's got a really great shot on him, and he's good at pushing the pace on the top line or any line that he's on. So right now he's on the third line with Fraser Mitten, who's another guy to look out for. because he's a young guy coming into his own. He's really, really smart with creating space on the ice. And so that opens up opportunities for whomever he's playing alongside of. But he's not heavily reliant on that either. He's somebody else that doesn't blink when it comes time to take the shot. So I feel like the younger guys have really kind of solidified the identity or where this Boston Bruins identity is going. But between Husnudinov, who had 4 goals versus the Rangers 2 weeks ago, and Fraser Mitten, who's on a bit of a point heater. I'd say those two. And then Alex Steves, who wasn't in the lineup the other night, if he is end up being in the mix by any chance, he's somebody else who's really good two-way wise. I mean, he was probably leading the Boston Bruins when it comes to hits as well as shots on goal versus the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I feel like they're always a good challenge in terms of like a guy stepping into his NHL level and persona. So the underestimation for the Bruins is really their younger players, and they're spread out throughout their lines, or their top 9.
That's great. I kind of wish they played like 2 weeks ago. So we
I
had
know.
like a preview of this game, maybe a little bad blood leading up to it, which we
I
might
feel
get.
like there is going to be though, because like the end of last year when these two teams saw each other, what, 3 times or something, like
Yep.
it was intense. It was extremely physical. It was super intense each time, and so like I feel like there's going to be tension there. The difference is just like because there's a number of young guys on this team that are just now, becoming Boston Bruins. They don't have that like bad taste in their mouth versus Tampa quite yet, but the physicality that they bring into this matchup, like Mark Kaselic and Tanner Jeannot. Tanner has taken on a little bit more of an antagonist role. Like you saw him kind of going at some of the Predators players the other night that he played with or is familiar with a smile on his face, and I feel like he's going to be very excited to do that versus Tampa.
I know. I think we're gonna see who he did not like so much playing with down here. It
Yeah.
was Nick Paul the other night. I think with Ian Cole.
Yes, and they talked about it. They
Yeah.
talked about it tonight, and Paul said once they got into the penalty box, they asked each other how their wives and kids were doing.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. See, that's
He
what I
said,
love about seeing old friends on the
he
ice
said they're
together.
great, and Greg asked him, "What did you say to him?" And he said, "Had to happen." That was what he said to him, was had to happen. He had to stick up for the players. And we talked about when Jeannot was here, that Jeannot effect. We heard that when Tanner starts going towards you, you tend to back away.
Mhm.
Number one, we have a couple guys that like to fight but can't fight. Someone like a Curtis Douglas. So hopefully, if he's playing, that's who Tanner goes
I
after.
thought I saw he got pulled back up too.
Yes, he did.
Douglas who got back? Okay, so yeah. He'll get
See,
beat
and
up.
the thing is, like, Tanner's one of 3 problems that you're going to have. If the Bruins come into this and sniff out the fact that, like, only a couple of guys can maybe drop the gloves, then, like, they're fine. They don't want to take any more penalties than they have to because their power play is actually pretty decent. I'm pretty sure it's top 8 in the NHL at the moment still. But granted, like, if it's not Tanner Jeannot, then, like, Mark Kastelik, he's soft spoken, but he loves a good fight. And so like he picks his moment where he kind of sets you up with a body check and then before you know it, you're going at it. It's Nikita Zadorov though. And like people hate him. I just saw the comment in the chat. I freaking love him. Like it's just like I have a friend who played with him back in Colorado when he was like young. But just to know like how smart he actually is, and for his size, a really good skater. Like I said, now I geek out over watching these guys skate. But Nikita Zadorov is really good at drawing penalties, and he's done it against certain opponents who, if you don't have your fighters on your team, like he's going to draw a penalty, he's going to get the Bruins on a power play, and he's going to kind of push things in their favor. So there's 3 antagonists that might be out for blood if they figure that out.
And here's also a thing that's going to go both ways for the veterans and for the new guys, is that this is going to be the national stage. So there's going to be people making a name for themselves in this game. There usually always is in one of these games. So you're going to have those guys that want to be the talk after the Stadium Series. Then you're also going to have these young guys that see the lights, and it's going to be deer in headlights for that for that first period. So for that first period, you're going to see a lot of we kind of saw that in Nashville with the Lightning, where a lot of those players had never played in an outdoor game. And it was kind of like, wow, this is amazing. You're going to have a lot of that with both these teams, with these young guys who have never played in these outdoor games. I mean, Coburn and stuff talked about how they grew up playing in outdoor hockey, but
Yeah.
it's not with 60,000 people and bright lights and you're on display like little ants in a football stadium. So you got a tale of two stories going to be coming in with both these young teams.
Yeah, that's so true. And I think an added point to that is like, as much as there's not too much disrespect coming from Boston with it being an outdoor game in Florida, I feel like it's going to be underestimated. Like how many Floridians are going to show up for this outside of the people that are trying to travel in? Like, I feel like the surgence of like hockey growth over the last 5 years, more specifically, is just insane. You've got young kids now that can actually wake up one morning and say, I want to play hockey, and their parents can make it work. And so like they're going to be excited to see two NHL teams go at it for sure in Raymond James Stadium, which is already so sick on Gasparilla weekend. So I feel like there's going to be a level of shock to the turnout there because I've just heard so many great things.
All right, let's play a game and then let's get you out of here. Bear with me. It's the first time we're ever playing a Stadium Series game.
Okay.
We're calling this one Fire the Cannons or Walk the Plank. It's Gasparilla weekend. You know what it's all about here. It's.
I know. I'm so bummed to miss it. You guys have no idea how sad I am.
Well, I'm sure Deandra told you. It's cold here. I know it's colder up there, but the high
We
is.
just had a snowstorm, my first one of my existence. So yeah, cold is
And that
something.
was probably awesome. But the high here on Sunday right now is supposed to be 48. Like you lived here. That's as cold as it gets.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm shivering right now being here in the front of Benchmark, and I have a shirt, I have an undershirt, a regular shirt, I have a hoodie on, I have a jersey on. This was going to be my outfit that I'm wearing on Sunday, and I just realized this isn't cold enough.
Yeah.
I mean, warm enough.
Warm
So
enough. We
I
gotta
am
get some hand warmers. It's funny because the layers that you have on right now is what I would wear for like a high of 20 degrees. That's
like
how much my life has changed.
All right.
this wind is coming, and I'm like, oh, this is horrible.
We'll
I was
get
like,
you
come on,
out of
let's get this
there.
game
Schooley.
over.
Let us play the game, and we'll get you out of there. And we'll get you to some shelter and some heat here. But you do have to be outside for hours on Sunday, so you're kind of preparing
This
yourself.
this is the prep.
All right.
We'll have a sun for half that day.
The statement, I'm going to have a statement, and you tell me, fire the cannons, that's good, or walk the plank, that's bad. So, Thomas, for this one, I need you to step back a little bit so she can see your jersey. In the let's do an example first. The first example is people on Twitter that will call this hockey game not a real hockey game. That's a walk the plank, like shut up, right?
Okay, gotcha.
All right. So the first one is, and you can be completely honest. We won't judge you if you don't like ours better, but the
Will I be
Bruins,
invited back?
you will. The Bruins Stadium Series jersey are more fire than the Bolts.
Fire the cannons.
Ooh, yeah. I don't know if you saw the reaction to the Bolts, but not
have
a great
the
first
Bruins one.
reaction.
So here was my thing. I fell in love with the
They
retro.
love mustard, huh?
No, it wasn't that. It was the simplification, like the TBL with like, and then if you look at any of the like A jerseys and stuff like that, it was just like there was a whole alphabet on front of the jersey, and that was driving me crazy. It was just too busy. And when it comes to busy jerseys, I already accepted the retro one that we had 3-4 years ago. That one grew on me, but I couldn't do a redo of that. This one is just like, it's Gasparilla weekend and you're the friggin' Tampa Bay Lightning. I feel like they could have done this up so differently to blow Boston out of the water, where like with Boston, says Boston across the chest, it has the bear, it has the claw mark on the side. Like the color is obnoxious, but it's more simple.
We'll accept your answer. And I think a lot of Bolts fans that did not like the leak that came out, which looked like crap anyway, they've warmed up to this jersey a lot more. It looks nice in person.
Okay. Did I grab the bees one?
We don't
Sorry,
want to
guys,
see
I
this.
swear
We
I'm
don't
not
want to see
being
that
biased.
three-legged bear. But good answer. Go with what you want. Of course, Bolts fans are saying walk the plank on that one. All right,
So, you
next
guys.
one. We had it announced earlier this week. Hunter Hayes singing the national anthem.
Ooh.
Are you a country fan? He's a country guy, right?
I am a country
Yes.
fan. Yeah. I am a country fan. It's going to be tough because after what Chris Stapleton did with the national anthem, any country artist that tries to rival that has a lot to do. But you know what? I'll fire the cannon on it. I feel like Hunter Hayes can handle it.
We can
I
go.
liked all of his songs in college.
Obviously, a lot of Bolts fans are going to sit here, and you guys can play along in the chat here. A lot are going to say walk the plank because we love our Sonia. Bryson
Oh my
Kurtz.
gosh. I love my queen.
All right, one more. We got a country act at intermission here. Tim McGraw at intermission. Is that a walk the plank? Could they have done better? Is that a fire the cannons for the country act?
We doubled down on the country stuff, which is interesting. I would have maybe gone in a different direction than Tim McGraw, but again, I mean, I grew up on country music. I love Tim McGraw, but I feel like they needed to play into like the youth a little bit here. Like down in the Winter Classic, you have Role Model, and I know people up here were freaking out about that, so they wanted something a little bit more upbeat and like crazy going. So I think I'm gonna walk the plank on Tim.
The whole thing is country because even Low Cash is doing the.
I'm
the
not surprised by
freestyle.
that. Do you remember the videos of Pat Maroon and the gang with Low Cash on
Yep.
stage? Like Low Cash are besties with the Lightning at this point.
Looks like we're getting a lot of fire the cannons in the chat, so people seem pretty happy. Hey, at
Freaking
least
McGraw.
money, because I know everyone's going to complain about that in a couple weeks. All
They had
right.
some options. They had some options.
Here's a good one. We'll get into more of the actual game here. The Bruins would rather win this as a 2-1 game versus turning into a track meet high scoring game.
I mean, if they're the ones that are doing the high scoring, I feel like they'll be fine with that because, again, when they played at TD Garden, they felt good about their first period, and the Lightning just completely took off on them, which it hurts your ego when a team can put up numerous goals on you in a period. But the Lightning are so good, and I feel like the Bruins respect them that like a 2-1 is going to feel much better than a blowout.
Okay, so you're fire the cannons on 2-1.
I'm going to fire the cannons on that also because of the goalie aspect. Like, you've got Jeremy Swayman contending to be, make some noise or maybe get some reps in at the Olympics, hopefully, after not having a great season, after not getting the nod at Four Nations, even though he was a part of it. So I feel like that's going to be more of a nod on, like, if it's Sway Day.
Okay. All right. The puck will bounce weird at least one time in a crucial moment.
I want to say walk the plank on that because as much as I have to sit here and talk nice about the Boston Bruins, what I don't want is anyone coming out of this stadium series trash talking Florida and hockey in Florida. So like that's going to turn into see, they can't put a quality rink together in Florida, blah blah blah. So I want to avoid that as much as possible.
All right, we're gonna at you in your mentions with this clip if there is some crazy bounce that affects this.
Right. And I'm going to be like, it's not Florida's fault. I feel like that they're going to try to make it something. Like I thought most things went well with the Winter Classic, and then I started hearing some crazy things, and I was just like, oh gosh, they're going to try to make sure hockey's never back in Florida again. And I don't care if I don't live in Florida anymore. I won't be that person.
Yeah, I'm treating like this is the only time this is ever going to happen. So we're going on.
Casey, I actually don't want them to have one here anymore because when we went to Nashville, it was so much fun seeing the team out and about and going to the bars and all the fans traveling together and having now being at home, it's just a home game. These players are just going to go home and the Boston Bruins are going to go to the strip club. And, it's just not as fun as Nashville.
I don't know how many guys are even of age to get into the club, especially the key guys I talked about. No, I mean, I could see that. I love that. I feel like Florida Gasparilla weekend is a lot. They really threw together all the experiences one would kind of travel in for. So that makes it maybe feel more home based, in my opinion. Like if this was a winter classic and they really incorporated like the Florida vibes and the beach vibes outside of like the pirate ship and all that stuff, maybe it would feel a little different. But you're right. I mean, they do get to play into different things. I love when the guys have the cowboy hats and the gear. Maybe outfit wise and tradition wise, they would have done something slightly different. But I don't know. It has to take place in Florida. Like, this is so important for them.
By the way, I can see my breath out here. This is not fun.
You guys, I have like a 0 low, I think tomorrow. It's 7 degrees outside right now in Boston. 7 degrees.
Just stay inside. All right. Well, we're only halfway through here. So next one, Nikita Kucherov. We'll treat this like a statement game. And what I mean by that is we will get try hard Nikita Kucherov in this game. Fire the cannons or walk the plank on that take.
Oh, I'm going to go walk the plank.
Ooh.
I don't see why he needs to go Nikita Kucherov on the Bruins. I feel
I
like
can give you one word: heart.
Hart. Well,
Heart
I
trophy.
but something else that plays into the Hart Trophy role for him is how he sets up, and is he not on a line with Hagel and Sorelli right now? Like, you know who I see going off on this game? I see this being a Brandon Hagel game because he loves a moment of attitude. Somebody on the Bruins is going to piss him off. You're going to see him fired up, and then I feel like it's going to turn into something where he's like completely going crazy. What's he doing? I really Yeah, like I see this being a spotlight for Brandon Hagel because we saw how he handled the Four Nations stage. Like now you're talking about his backyard. You're talking about repping Florida hockey. You're talking about playing on a line with Nikita Kucherov. Like I'm gonna walk the plank on Cooch, but if we could pivot to Hagel, I'm here for it.
Okay. He'll casually get 4 assists.
Maybe 2 goals.
The team that scores first will win.
Ooh. Walk the plank.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that a common thing for the Bruins? Are they one of those teams that like do they come back a lot? Do they score the first goal a lot?
They've been super inconsistent, but during some of their winning streaks this season, it's been like fully based on their comeback ability. And then one of their other losing skids was like they had to open up the scoring or it wasn't going to happen. But they've been put in a position to have to chase the game more or to kind of have to push things into an overtime situation. So I feel like whoever opens the scoring isn't going to tell the tale of who's going to win this one.
Okay. Walk the plank then. All right. If the crowd starts doing the wave, is that a fire the cannons or walk the plank?
Wait, say it again.
If the crowd starts doing the wave.
Oh, sure. This is tough. I caught myself doing the wave the other day, and
They're going to do it. They're going to do it.
yeah, I feel like they're trying to encompass the football like stuff. You wave at football games.
All right. So you're firing the cannons on the wave. A lot of
Does that mean like I wouldn't participate?
You can. It's just funny. There's a lot of Bolts fans that just do not like it. Thomas is one of them. No way.
I hate it. I hate it. I think everybody that does it should walk the plank or get in front of this trolley that's coming by.
Can we get footage when they do have a wave going, how he reacts to it?
All right, 4 more. We got to get Thomas Schooley into shelter here.
Okay, sorry, I'm freezing you to death.
Fire the cannon.
No. My laptop was like, hey, you got 2% left. And so I ran around here trying to find power, and I'm hooked up to their little pod container here on the ground. So,
oh my gosh,
we could just lay here.
Oh wait, Scott made a good point. Everybody might be bundled up from the cold, but you warm up with the wave. I think the wave's gonna happen.
Oh, then yeah. If it's super cold, then I guess maybe that makes sense. We'll be waving each other for heat. All right. Fire the cannons or walk the plank. A depth player ends up scoring the difference-making game in this, or the difference-making goal in this game for either team. A depth player.
Team?
Yeah. Or will it be a star player?
Darren Radish.
Actually, I like the depth player move.
So you're fire the cannons.
I'm
Depth
firing
there.
the cannons on that one. Yeah.
Okay. And we kind of talked about this one. There will be 0 fights in the Stadium Series game. Fire the cannons or walk the plank.
Walk the plank.
Walk the
There's
plank.
no way. There's no way there's 0 fights in this.
What's the history of these outdoor games? Do they normally fight in these? I swear I
Yes.
watch all of them and I don't remember.
Yeah, I feel like things get
fight, right?
pissy. Like, was it the Blackhawks and the Blue Jackets? Was that last year?
Yeah, I think that was
Yes.
Stadium Series last year.
Yeah, like there was so much to that game that just like seemed slow, but there was so much tension, which was fun to see. And then, I mean, the Panthers are the Panthers, but granted, there were some moments there during the Winter Classic. But with
It's the
this,
Rangers, yeah.
like I said, like either the Lightning are going to know that like the Bruins struggle when they put themselves in penalty trouble, so you're going to have an antagonist or a couple for that, which I can think of a few, and then vice versa. You've got guys on the Bruins that like if they can put themselves in a power play opportunity, then they're going to go for it. So I feel like you got to piss somebody off to make that happen.
Thank
right.
God Lilleberg's not in. That's an easy. That's an easy 5 minutes penalty against Lilleberg. So
Oh my god!
Lilleberg.
See, yeah, you can get under his skin a little easier.
yeah,
Oh.
He's gotten really good, Casey. He's been playing before he got hurt. He was playing very, very good.
I saw, you know who I loved watching too? JJ Moser. Like,
oh,
unbelievable.
best,
crap,
best.
Yeah.
is he fun to watch? Yeah.
What
Yeah.
a find that was in the Sergachev trade. All right, 2 more. And this isn't because Vasi just had another shutout last night, but Vasi's play is going to be more important than any other player in this game. Fire the cannons or walk the plank.
I'd say fire the cannons because, yeah, it's frustrating as hell when you can't pick up a goal. And you've got to, I don't even know if creative's the word, but like, you know, I saw how frustrating it was for the Bruins when they went against Jacob Fowler, brand new. I mean, he's in his first year with Montreal, but like he's got insane rebound control. And so, like, when you're relying on your net front guys to get a goal for you and they can't do it because that goalie is just shutting down every single breathing chance you get, like, I feel like that's a different layer of frustration. And we've seen Vasi piss off a number of teams that way. So,
Yeah. No, I'm with you there. He's a game changer. I don't think this will be the game though, just because goalies don't fare well in these games because it's just such a different environment and the lighting and everything.
They're routine, and they're the most habitual routine creatures.
Tough game for goalies. All right, last one. Hopefully you got the right answer because I think this is the easiest one. Fire the cannons or walk the plank. The pirate ship cannons at Raymond James Stadium should fire after every Lightning goal in this game.
Hell yeah, fire the cannons. That would be such a missed opportunity to not do that.
Exactly. You got the answer right. I don't know. I don't think they would do it for Bruins goals, but I almost wouldn't mind that either. I want that cannon firing.
I can understand that. You got to keep some things to home base. And so, like,
This is considered a home game for the Lightning. So
exactly. So fire the cannons for Lightning only. I can support that. That's for sure.
All right, Casey. Thank you so much. Where can everyone find you if they are not already following you?
At the Sports Case, KASE. You guys have it right there, if I can do that correctly. And I mean, unless you have the apps and stuff and you're not in the New England area, it's hard to see Nesson, but everything pumps out through social. So you can check out all the fun stuff, all the Beanpot stuff. Until college hockey gets bigger down south, that's where I will be locked in for the next 2 weeks. We have the semifinals on Monday and the championship game the following Monday. So
you know where I see you most at? TikTok.
TikTok,
I see
yes.
you all over TikTok.
That's where I do my game previews, which is pretty wild. Boston welcomed that quicker and in a way that I couldn't have even imagined. So I haven't been on top of it in a while, but everybody knows that I've been on Beanpot, and Boston is under the chat. So I'll be back on game previews, hopefully in the next week or two here.
Well, again, thank you so much. You're already kind of like on this climb up the media ladder. Don't forget about us little guys. Hopefully.
I never will. You guys were one of the first hockey podcasts I ever jumped on. This is an honor to come back.
Well, hey, maybe, just maybe, there will be a clash in the playoffs. And if there is, before that series starts, you'll come back, right?
100%.
All right.
100%.
Bruins, Lightning playoffs. We'll see if that happens. It could be in the cards. We'll see what happens the next couple of months. But yeah, thank you so much. It has been awesome to talk to you again. Everyone, make sure you go follow Casey. Remember, she does cover the Bruins in the Northeast now.
At least it's not the Rangers, guys. Like, give me a break on that one.
Sometimes I'm scrolling through and I'm like, why do I have a Boston comment on here? And then
It's me, full love, but it's not the Rangers and it's not the Islanders. I feel like we can all agree that's much worse.
We'll take it. Well, we're super excited. Again, thank you so much for coming on, everyone. Casey.
Thank you, Casey.
Hudson.
Of course. Thank you, guys. I'll hopefully see you soon.
All right. Thank you again. All right, Schooley, you got to hold on for one more minute. We're going to wrap it up here. Just want to remind
You just see those poor people walking by, not knowing what the hell I'm doing here, laying on the ground with my laptop here.
Who's this homeless person? I just want to remind everyone one more time, we will keep you posted on anything else Stadium Series related. We will be out and about at this pregame, walking around the tailgates. If you find us, I actually have these little Lightning cards. We're going to have some hot hands that are probably going to go fast. These are new. This is a Lightning card with a QR code. And if you scan this, you will be the first one to enter into our next contest that will launch on Sunday. But we won't talk about that because we've got the contest right now going on right there in the chat. Or if you're on the podcast, look in the podcast notes. But that ends.
We also have these
Thunderbolt stickers, right? Sticker?
Yep.
There you go. So find us, get yourself one of those. I will actually have a few of these I'm going to bring. So if you find me at the game, I'll have just a couple of these to give out. And then remember, go sign up at that link. And we'll have a big winner, a couple winners on tomorrow night after the game. At some point, I'll probably go live to make that announcement. So I hope everyone's excited as we are for this game on Sunday. Until then, rest up and don't get too wasted at Gasparilla.
I might be sleeping here tomorrow when you guys get here.
Yeah, so game tomorrow against the Jets. Like Schooley said, it looks like McDonough will make his return. I'll be in the house tomorrow night as well. It's the Gasparilla game.
I will not be here. Isn't tomorrow the bobblehead?
Is it Lightning
Thunderbug bobblehead?
No, I think it's the bandana night.
No, bandana was last game. I went to that. I got that.
Well, they had false advertising then because I swear it was the Jets game. But okay, Thunderbug, whatever it is, I'll be there. Thomas won't.
First 5,000 though. It isn't every fan. It's first 5,000, so you won't get one.
How dare you? Maybe I'm planning on going early.
No, Scott said that's the game on the 3rd. I just saw another giveaway that they're giving away that was really cool, but I can't remember when it is and what it was, but it was really cool. And I'm not going to be at that game, and I was a little mad.
But tomorrow is the Gasparilla game, so they got all the pirate themed and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, find us at the Stadium Series game. Post your picture.
For everybody that texts me about seeing me out here freezing, thank you. I love you guys all too. Okay.
Let's let Thomas.
Yes, I've had to pee since we went on air because they locked me out of everything. So yes, that's my first stop.
All right. Well, let's get out of here. Everyone have a wonderful time at Gasparilla, a great time at the Stadium Series game. This has been We the Thunder. Don't forget to be the Thunder.
That's it?
That's it.
Down in Tampa Bay, where the sun usually stays, Sunday will be as cold as the ice at Ray J. With the thunder on the airwaves.